Put your hands where I can see them! Marcus froze. The sound of the command sliced through the warm laughter and music of his daughter's birthday party. His wife, Angela, turned from the grill, confusion painting her face. "What's going on?" she called out. 2 police cruisers had pulled up to the curb. Marcus looked around, trying to understand what could have possibly triggered this. "I said hands up!" The officer barked again, stepping onto the lawn. "Now!" Marcus raised his hand slowly, palms open. "Officer, there must be a mistake. This is my house." The neighbors were already peeking through curtains and holding up phones. His daughter, Lena, stood near the swing set in her pink birthday dress, clutching her teddy bear. "Daddy?" she whispered, her eyes wide. "Sweetheart, it's okay," Marcus said gently, forcing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Go inside with Mommy." Angela came running forward, panic in her voice. "What are you doing? This is a child's birthday party." "Ma'am, step back," the lead officer, his name tag reading Reed, snapped. "We got a call about a suspicious man trespassing and causing a disturbance. Description matches him exactly." Angela's voice rose. "You mean my husband? The man who lives here?" Reed didn't look at her. "Sir, turn around. Hands behind your back." "Hold on," Marcus said calmly. "You're making a mistake. You can check the mailbox. You can ask my neighbors. This is—" "I said turn around," Reed barked, stepping forward and grabbing his wrist. The cuffs clicked shut. Gasps rippled through the party. One of Lena's little friends started crying. Another parent began recording. Angela's face twisted in disbelief. "Daddy!" Lena screamed, running forward. Angela caught her mid-run, voice breaking. "Stay back, baby. It's okay." Marcus looked at his daughter and forced himself to smile. "It's okay, Pumpkin." "Daddy's okay." Reed pushed him toward the squad car. "You can explain downtown." "This is ridiculous," Angela shouted, pulling out her phone. "I'm recording this." "You have no right—" "Ma'am," Reed interrupted sharply, "unless you want to be detained for obstruction, step aside." Marcus exhaled deeply. He had dealt with worse. Years of military service had trained him to stay composed even when disrespected. But this humiliation in front of his little girl, burned differently. "Officer," he said evenly, "check my wallet. You'll find my driver's license, military ID, and proof of residence." Reed opened his wallet and snorted. "Oh, what do we have here? Pentagon access?" He held up the badge mockingly. "Cute fake, though. I've seen better print jobs." Marcus's jaw tightened. "That's real." Reed smirked. "Sure it is, Commander Daniels. Maybe next time print it on thicker paper." The other officer, Miller, looked uneasy. "Sir, maybe we should just verify—" Reed waved him off. "I know a fake when I see one." "Don't fall for this 'I'm a veteran' routine," Angela shouted from the porch. "He served 10 years in the Air Force. He's a defense analyst." "You're making a mistake!" Reed ignored her. "Sir, sit tight. We'll get this sorted once we're at the station." Marcus closed his eyes briefly, steadying his breath. He could feel every stare on him, neighbors whispering, parents clutching their children, even his own daughter watching through the window. "Officer," he said calmly, "I'd like to make one phone call before we go." Reed scoffed. "You can make your call when we get downtown." Miller hesitated. Technically, by law, he's allowed to make a call now if he's been detained. Reed shot him a glare. "Fine, one call. Make it quick." Marcus nodded and was handed his phone. His hands shook slightly as he unlocked it, not from fear, but from anger, the kind that simmers cold. He dialed a number from memory. "Who are you calling?" Reed asked, smirking. "Your lawyer? Better make it a good one." Marcus didn't answer. The phone rang once before a clipped, professional voice picked up. "This is Defense Command Communications. State your name and clearance level." Marcus spoke calmly, eyes fixed on Reed. "This is Commander Marcus Daniels. Level 4 clearance, badge number 721B. I'm being detained by local law enforcement. Officers outside my residence. I need this relayed to General Everett immediately." The line went silent for half a second. Then, "Copy that, Commander Daniels. Stay where you are." "We're verifying now," Reed laughed. "Wow, you really committed to the bit, huh?" Marcus said nothing. He simply held Reed's gaze. A minute passed, then 2. Reed's radio crackled. "Unit 12, come in." He pressed the button. "Yeah, go ahead." The voice on the other end sounded tense. "You're detaining a Commander Marcus Daniels?" Reed frowned. "Affirmative. We're bringing him in for—" "Negative," the voice barked. "Release him immediately. You're in violation of federal protocol. The Pentagon just called our chief. You need to stand down now." Reed blinked. "What?" "Now, Officer Reed, that's a direct order." The color drained from Reed's face. Miller took a cautious step back. The neighbors were whispering louder now, phones still filming. Angela's mouth dropped open. "Did they just—" Marcus slowly turned his head toward Reed. His voice was calm but heavy with authority. "You were saying something about fakes?" Reed swallowed hard. "Sir, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "No kidding," Marcus replied, his tone sharp now. "My daughter's birthday is ruined, my wife's been humiliated, and my neighbors think I'm a criminal. You call that a misunderstanding?" Miller rushed to uncuff him. "Sir, please accept our apologies. We didn't know." Marcus pulled his wrists free and stared at them both. "You didn't ask. That's the problem." He turned and walked toward his porch where Angela and Lena stood. His daughter ran to him, tears streaking her face. "Daddy, are you okay?" He knelt down, pulling her into his arms. "I'm okay, baby. Everything's fine now." But as he hugged her, his eyes stayed locked on Reed, who stood pale, frozen, realizing that whatever call Marcus had made had just reached the highest level of power in the country. Marcus's phone buzzed again. He answered quietly, stepping aside. "Yes, sir," he said. "They've released me." There was a pause on the line. Then a firm voice replied, "Good. Stay where you are, Commander. We're sending someone to speak to those officers personally." Marcus's eyes narrowed. "Understood, General." He ended the call and looked back toward the officers, who were now whispering nervously into their radios. Angela stepped beside him. "What did they say?" He exhaled slowly. "Let's just say things are about to get very uncomfortable for them." The street went quiet. All eyes on the man who just made a call that shook the local police department. And within minutes, 3 black SUVs began turning onto the block. Question for you. Who do you think just arrived in those black SUVs? And what's going to happen to the officers who humiliated Marcus in front of his family? The 3 black SUVs pulled to a stop in front of Marcus's house. Doors opened in unison, and out stepped 4 men in suits, their presence commanding silence across the entire neighborhood. The music from the birthday playlist had long since stopped. Even the children, sensing the tension, stood still. Officer Reed's hand twitched nervously toward his belt. Who are they?" Marcus didn't answer. He just crossed his arms, his daughter's small hand still clutching his sleeve. One of the suited men approached, flashing a gold badge that gleamed under the afternoon sun. "Special Agent Keller, Department of Defense Internal Security Division." His eyes locked on Marcus. "Commander Daniels, are you all right, sir?" Marcus nodded slightly. "I'm fine now, Agent Keller. My family's safe." Keller turned to the officers. "Which one of you is Reed?" Reed swallowed hard. "That would be me, sir." Keller's expression didn't change. "You and your partner are hereby ordered to surrender your weapons and badges for immediate suspension pending investigation." "What?" Reed stammered. "This is a mistake." Keller stepped closer, his tone cold and professional. "The mistake was yours, Officer Reed. You detained a federal commander in front of his family, denied him the right to identify himself, and mocked his military credentials." Angela crossed her arms, her anger simmering just beneath her calm. "He humiliated my husband in front of our daughter, for nothing." Reed's face turned crimson. "Ma'am, Don't!" Angela interrupted sharply. "You said enough already." Keller motioned to the other agents. "Escort them to their vehicles. They'll be debriefed at the federal building." Miller looked pale. "Sir, I tried to stop him. I told him to verify." Keller nodded once. "We're aware. You'll be questioned separately." As the officers were led away, the crowd began whispering. Phones recorded every second. The same neighbors who had stood watching earlier now murmured apologies. One man standing near his driveway stepped forward awkwardly. "Hey, Marcus. I'm sorry, man. We didn't know." Marcus turned his head slowly, eyes steady. "You didn't have to know to care." The man's face fell. Silence followed. Inside the house, Angela sat beside Marcus on the couch. Lena clung to his arm, refusing to let go. The backyard was empty now, the decorations sagging, balloons half deflated, cake untouched. "You know," Angela whispered, "I dreamed this would be the happiest day for her." Instead, Marcus took her hand. "It will be again. We're not letting them take that from us." There was a knock at the door. Agent Keller stood there with a respectful nod. "Commander, the situation has been contained. The department and local authorities will issue a public statement within the hour." Marcus frowned. "I'm not interested in headlines. I just want accountability and my daughter's peace of mind." Keller's expression softened. "Understood. The Pentagon's already alerted the local police chief. Those officers will face disciplinary action." "Good," Marcus said. "But I also want something else." "What's that, sir?" He looked toward the window where Lena sat, staring out at the yard. "I want her to remember that her dad didn't lose his temper. That being disrespected doesn't mean you lose your dignity." Keller nodded. "That's exactly what she'll remember." By evening, the sun dipped low, painting the sky gold. The neighbors had dispersed, whispers fading into silence. Angela went to put Lena to bed, but the little girl tugged at Marcus's hand. "Daddy?" she asked softly. "Yes, baby?" "Why did they take you?" "You didn't do anything wrong." Marcus sighed, pulling her close. "Sometimes people judge others before they know the truth. But when you stay calm and let the truth speak, it always finds its way out." She frowned. "But you were so calm, Daddy. Weren't you scared?" He smiled faintly. "I was scared. For you? For Mommy. But being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do what's right anyway." Lena nodded slowly. "You're my hero." Marcus kissed her forehead. "And you're mine." The next morning, news broke everywhere. Headlines flashed across social media. Local police detained Pentagon. Commander at child's birthday. Federal response immediate. Footage from neighbors' phones spread rapidly, showing the officers handcuffing Marcus, followed by the arrival of the federal agents. Within hours, the police department issued a public apology, confirming that both officers were suspended and facing misconduct charges. When reporters tried to contact Marcus for comment, he simply said, "I'm not interested in revenge. I'm interested in respect." That statement alone went viral. Messages poured in from across the country. Veterans, families, and ordinary people thanking him for staying composed under humiliation. Angela watched him from the kitchen table as he read through emails. "You've become a symbol overnight," she said softly. Marcus looked up, half smiling. "I didn't plan to be one. I just wanted to be a father at his daughter's birthday." "But maybe," Angela replied, "that's exactly what made you one." Days later, Marcus received a call from the Pentagon. General Everett's voice came through the line. "Daniels, you handled yourself with the kind of grace that represents everything this country should stand for." The secretary saw the footage personally. "You've got our full backing." "Thank you, sir," Marcus said quietly. "But I don't need recognition. I just need change." Everett chuckled softly. "You might have started that, Commander. Trust me." Marcus ended the call and looked at his reflection in the dark TV screen. For the first time since the incident, he felt the tension leave his shoulders. He went outside where Angela and Lena were sitting on the porch. The sun was setting again, the same warm orange glow as the day before. This time, no flashing lights, no shouting, just peace. Angela smiled at him. "You okay?" "Yeah," he said, sitting down beside her. "You know what's funny?" "What?" He looked out at the quiet street. "Yesterday, they treated me like I didn't belong in my own home. Today, they're calling me a hero. But neither of those things matter. What matters is I stayed true to who I am for her." He nodded toward Lena, who was chasing fireflies on the lawn. Angela rested her head on his shoulder. "That's what she'll remember, Marcus. Not the fear, the strength." He smiled. Then maybe it was worth it. Later that night, as Lena finally fell asleep, Marcus stood by her door, watching her breathe softly. Angela came up behind him and whispered, "You think she'll ever forget?" He shook his head. "No, but maybe that's the point. Maybe she'll remember it every time someone underestimates her. And she'll rise above it, too." Angela smiled. "Just like her father." Marcus exhaled slowly, closing the door. "Let's hope she never needs to." Life lesson. True power isn't in the loudest voice or the strongest stance. It's in the calm that refuses to be broken when the world tries to test your worth. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn by standing firm in your truth. Quick question for you. If you were in Marcus's position, could you have stayed calm? Or would you have fought back? Comment your answer below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more inspiring real-life stories that remind us. Staying composed can change everything.